The main thing about suffering is that in suffering, in the majority of cases, is a choice. As Osho pointed out many years ago, along with many others, have said, there's one thing that is almost like essential to happen, or that we are going to. Pain is in. That's what I'm getting ready to say. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Pain is inevitable. In one way or another, and when my voice is now starting to switch into light language, as as just talking about that a little bit ago. Pain is inevitable. So the one way or another in this life, is physical life, we go through pain in one thing and us. We hit our toe, we have pain. We our muscles, pain. We can have a headache, pain. We can have fear, which creates pain. Fear, worry, anxiety creates stress, which causes pain in the physical body. Fear in itself could be viewed as pain. Fear could be viewed as the suffering due to pain of a trauma that we're holding on to that we haven't released yet. Once we release the trauma, then the suffering goes away. So a lot of this time period that we're currently in is being okay of how we actually go through pain. How and the choices we make to suffer. How long we wish to suffer. If we have a loss of something, how long are we going to suffer after that loss? That's again a choice. We can release the pain, and therefore we're not going to suffer. The pain of the loss of something, someone, again. We can choose to have gratitude. We can choose to love that person or that thing and be thankful for the experience that we had with them or with whatever it is. We can then release the actual option or the choice of being in suffering. If we hold on to the pain of the loss of that person, and we hold on to that, and we're actually continually feel that loss or the missing of that person, we can hold on to that pain for years and years. Or again, we can have the choice to love and have gratitude, have joy, focus on the joyful moments, focus on the eternal aspect of who and what that person was and who that person is currently, even though they're not in a physical body any longer. And to tune into the eternal aspect of that being, or that person, or that thing, or that animal, and so on. Therefore, there's no more suffering. It's a process of release of a certain type of the program in itself. The program of saying, I release the program of suffering. And you can say that to yourselves now. See, when you say that, what may pop up. I release the program of suffering, because really it is a program. As that I shared previously in some of the other topics in this month's update, we are a biological computer. Our physical bodies are a biological computer running with programs that our consciousness, our eternal aspect of who we truly are, is experiencing reality through. It is these types of programs that we have the choice to live through, that are essentially existing within our biological computer. Just as the fear program, the fear matrix, again, is something that we can experience life through, or we can make different choices to release and no longer experience that suffering of the fear matrix, of the fear program. The same thing with the suffering program is to see that it's a program of patterns. It's a program of beliefs. It's a program of perceptions that we essentially opt into and say, this is how I experience life. And it's, again, there's nothing bad. It's not bad or good. It just is. It's in a choice that we are choosing to live through. It is the consciousness that we are living through. So my suggestion to you all, my friends, is to breathe. When you are feeling pain, if you are feeling suffering of any kind, is to breathe with it. See that this pain and this suffering is able to move. It is not a stagnant, concrete block, but it can move, it can change, it can be refined into a lighter version. Just as the coal into the diamond, as the water into the vapor mist, and so on. You can breathe through it, allow it to move, breathe it out, release it. Release the pain, release the suffering. See where you are still holding on to pain. Find the root cause of that pain. Come to terms with the original root cause of that pain, and then come to terms with it and release it. Have gratitude. Focus on love without conditions. Transmute it into a lighter form and see it be vaporized into the mist, into the water vapors that go off into the air. See it evaporate. Release the suffering. Release the self-imposed suffering. It's saying, well, I am grieving, and I feel guilty if I do not grieve for a certain period of time for this person leaving physical form. Again, that is self-imposed suffering. Instead, you have the choice to be joyful. Have happiness. Radiate that happiness, joy, and gratitude to the person that is left form now as an internal, back into their internal aspect of their authentic being, and have gratitude and light and see them in that lighter form instead of continually projecting it and seeing them in a lower dense form. So again, the choice of suffering is time for release. It's the time for to release the suffering, to release the pain. There is no doubt that we're going to have more pain. It could be very challenging times when we see other people in pain and we feel that pain. We feel and see them suffering. it's even more essential when we see and experience this in other people going through the pain and suffering, is to focus on the love without conditions onto them and everything they have going on. Just because someone else is feeling pain and suffering, it does not mean that you need to feel pain and suffering. You do not need to experience and suffer just to be compassionate. You can still, at the same time, instead, stand beside them and focus on love, being love. Radiate the love. Not just send love, but be the love that encompasses them and every single thing that they got going on. Therefore, they are able to move through their own pain and suffering with greater ease because of the light and the love that you are radiating all around them. We do not need to take the pain and suffering away from anyone or anything, nor do we need to take on the pain and suffering from anyone or anything. We do not need to transmute it for anyone or anything, the same as we do not need to take on any type of perceived pain from the earth and or feel like we have to take on this pain and suffering of the earth and therefore transmute it through ourselves. Again, these are beliefs that are not needed. The simple act of making the choice to be love, to be the wholeness of your eternal aspect of your intimate being in the physical form, and just be that love, transmutes, again, pain and suffering into freedom, into a lighter form. We do not need to be the conduit for, again, pain and suffering of other things, but simply just be the love that allows the aspects of whatever you are seeing, other beings, other people, other places, other things, to release that density in their own ways and to have their own self-realization of being able, the process of releasing the suffering themselves. So we can't really take the pain away from someone or something else. We can only love them to the point to where they make the choice to release the pain and suffering themselves. So that's the process, my friends. To release the program of suffering within ourselves to the point we become the conduit of that love to radiate to everyone else, to where they then can make the choices to release the programs of the suffering and the fear and so on themselves. Remember to breathe through it and release it. Breathe through it and release. Live and love on, my friends. Love on.